What's good with it in the hood with it? Welcome back to the collective clips where you already know. Tas. We get it in. But before we get it in, let's get to the intro. Welcome back to the collective clips. And if you haven't already hit that like and subscribe button, make sure that you do that right now, right? And put your notification bell on all so that way you're directed in the direction of the dope content that the gun stays kicking. So are you ready for another super oos? Get it, right? Let's get into another super oos. Now, this ain't Lion because Lion's dead. Unfortunately, rest in peace to my old celly. It hurt the heart. But it also hurt the heart when he tried to sing out the cell door and bump that baking soda breath. Speaking of that, we'll be doing a video today. Cell soldiering, bumping baking soda breath on the door. Things you cannot say and should not do, but they do it anyways. We're going to get into that later, but super oos, right? So I wanted to tell a story about some Usos. And man, how it went bad, and it went bad fast. Now, Usos usually are the calmest, coolest collective people that you'll ever meet. Every Uso that I've met, besides Lion was wild. You know, Lion was not lying when he said he was wild when he came in that cell. When he was like, brother, I'm crazy. I said, brother, yes, you are. Yes, you are. But I wasn't going to tell him that. I said that in my mind. I wasn't going to tell him that in real life because in real life it would have been, oof, and I would have effed the fuck up out of there, right? So this is how it went down. So what happened is I have an uncle. I have a Theo that has, I call it the Michael J. Fox shit. You know, where he gets his shit fitter and combustion. He does the Humpty dance. He has that disease, whatever it's called, right? Parkinson's. That's what he has. And so he'd been shaking for a while. And I just got out of prison. I was fresh out of prison. And none of his children wanted anything to do with my Theo because he was a mean, aggressive motherfucker, right? Back in the days before my uncle started shaking and shit, before he went back to the future, that vault right there was, no one in the family likes to be around him. He was a narcissist. He was a Wes Watson. He was an asshole, right? He had hella money. Big old $1 million pad in the Bay Area, nice pool with his initials, all that, right? He was balling. Everyone liked to go over there, eat all his food and do all that. But when it came to like hearing what he had to say, we wasn't trying to hear it. But anyways, I'm fresh out of prison and people change. I changed. I was no longer an active gang member. I was no longer in the mix. I was no longer fucking around like that. So I figured, hey, maybe he changed. So anyways, I'm chilling at my abuelita's house, my grandmother's house in Modesto. That's where I was at. And she's on the phone with my Theo, and she tells me, mijo, your Theo needs help, man. Nobody wants to help him. He had just went through one of his surgeries for that stuff, right? So at the time, I ain't got nothing better to do. I ain't got no job. You know what I'm saying? I'm non-active. Like that matters, right? I ain't got shit to do in life, but just to try to come up. So I figured my grandma was like, if you go to the Bay Area, you can stay with them, big-ass pad. It's all nice, whatever, right? And go help him out. You know, he needed someone to wipe his ass. And I'm going to be honest with you. So I was like, fuck it. I'll slide through. So, of course, I get there. And the first couple of days are smooth. My Theo's not talkative anymore. He can't talk shit because, well, he can. And he did. But he couldn't really because he was sick. So he was one of those dudes that was determined. He didn't want to use the walker that they gave him. He just had fucking brain surgery. He didn't want to do this. He didn't want to do that. So, and he's what is those type of people? The type that, motherfucker, get away from me type people. So, let me tell you how it went down. So I had a primo. That was his son. That was an active gang member in the Bay Area. He still is. He's with the fucking shenanigans, right? But he's also with the fucking meth shenanigans too. So he used to be coming in at all hours of the night, all tweaked out the game. And I used to be like, hey, I think your dad had chorro last night. Why don't you go help me out and do something? He's like, no, fuck that, bro. That's what you're hired for. Hired? I wasn't even getting no money. I guess I was getting a place to stay on parole, and that was better than nothing. But here I am already in violation of parole. Done left the county. I shouldn't have. And I'm over here trying to white fucking my Theo's ass, and he's over here moving and shit. How the fuck am I supposed to do that, right? He's over there remixing. So anyways, I used to tell my primo all the time, like, man, help me out, man. He's like, nah, me and my dad, we don't get along. But he sure was eating all the food in the house, coming through, bringing all these tweaker whores and just doing his thing, all his homeboys. So I had to check my primo. I was older, right? Even though I was not active, we kind of got into it. And I'll tell you guys another story about that, how they jumped me. I told it before on the 4th of July, but whatever, right? So anyways, I'm like, hey, man, you need to help out, bro. Do something or get the fuck on. Straight up. If I'm going to be running this house, I'm going to be running this house the way I want to run it. Show. puro norte, right? And so I got all gang related on him, all crazy. So he ends up leaving. Well, that didn't stop him. Next day he was back. So he was on his smoky shit. Like, hey, he'll stop talking shit, but as soon as I turn my back, he'll start again. So this is where me and my primo get kind of cool. So my tío, before he got sick, he had an old lady. She lived down the street. He lived in a very nice, rich neighborhood, right? Not rich, super $1 million homes, $2 million homes. Like, it was decent. And there was an India, right? She wasn't Native American. She was fucking from India chick that lived down the street. True story, right? It's gonna hurt my tío's heart, but this is just what it is. So my tío, he could barely talk, but when he does talk, it's like mean. He's like, go to my girl's house, get her some food, right? So I guess she was making some Indian food that he liked. So he's like, go over there. Now, I had seen her a couple times, and I'm not gonna lie to you. What she was doing with him, I'll never understand. She was getting his money, I bet. What he was doing with her, I could totally fucking understand, because she was bad. I ain't never seen a chick from India without a daughter in her head that was getting her on, right? She was bad. Shout out to the chicks from India. They're bad. And so he's like, go over there. So I'm like, cool. I had seen her a couple times. She had batted her eyelash at me, and you can't do that with me. But again, man, this is kind of tricky because she's my tío's old lady. She's not my aunt, but she isn't. But I don't know. She got ass. So I'm going to walk over there. So I walk over there, and I remember knocking on her door, and true stories, right? I'm knocking, boom, 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 boom. Now, the whole get down is she's married at the time to a doctor, but the doctor's always out of town. So she just developed this relationship with her next door neighbor, which is across the street, my tío. And he was fine in the beginning, but then he started fucking quivering, right? And so she just quivered with him for a while for the money. But anyways, I'm knocking on the door, and she answered full negligee. I say negligee because it was classy. She didn't answer the door in a thong. She answered the door looking like, ooh, wait, right? She's like, oh, your plates are in here. She knew what she was doing. So I knew what I was about to be doing. So I ain't gonna lie. I went in there. She had made my tío a steak, some Indian fucking whatever she made him. She had me a little steak. Mine was slightly smaller than his, until what happened. Then mine started to become bigger. So anyways, I'm not gonna lie. She's giving your boy action and lights, camera, tas, action, right? So the tasing and the tasing happened, right? Unfortunately for my uncle. So I go back and I'm thinking he can't do nothing for her anyways. His brain don't work. Motherfucker just had brain surgery. He's laid up right there talking about, wipe my ass. Fuck you. Where's my steak? So I switched steaks. I ate his big one, put my small one on his plate, and took him his food. So he's like, oh, what was she doing? Now when he's talking about her, it's like the highlight of his life. It's like he's not sick. Oh, what was she doing? What was she dressed? How was she dressed? Did she have ass? She did. Now she has pancakey, right? Because I pancaked that. And so whatever. So this little relationship that me and her had going on was on the side of what she had going on, was on the side of what her husband probably had going on. Everybody was winning. Well, my primo discovers it. My primo comes one day, right? And he sees I'm across the street. And he's like, hey, what are you doing? And I'm just walking up to that chick's door. He's like, hey, he doesn't like the chick because his mom and his dad split up over that chick, right? So I was like, it's no big deal, fool. I'm just over here grabbing some food. She cooks for me and your dad. And he's like, tell her to make me something. He's like, fool, she's a whore, fool. This. He starts talking bad about her, right? He's like, no. And me like a dumbass, I'm like, hey, bro, is it wrong if I fucking get him on one? He was like, psh, bro, if I could, I would, right? I said, I already did. He's like, oh, you're a dirty dirt dog, motherfucker. How could you do my dad like that? Right? I said, how could your dad do your mom like that? He's like, yeah, you're right. Do him dirty. I said, shit, we're all winning here, right? I got to get my payment somehow. I'm not wiping asses for nothing. I'm going to tell you guys that right off the top. So anyways, bam, go in there. It's all good, right? It takes about 20 minutes just to get to the Usos story, but this is how the Usos come in. So anyways, boom, my cousins ride with me. So now me and my cousin, we got this common thing. I can't talk shit to him anymore and check him because he knows something about me, right? And he's kind of cool to hang around with because even though he's a tweaker and shit, the Vato likes fuck. He knows everywhere in that area because he grew up there. So he tells me one day I'm kicking back and he comes to the pad. He has this fucking white chick with him. The ugliest featherwood I ever seen in my life. Brother, what the fuck is that, brother? Right? She was ugly. She looked like Hulk Hogan's first wife, Linda Hogan. So she comes in, Linda Hogan'd out, and she's like, hey, what's up? I'm like, you're definitely not your teeth because them motherfuckers are down and gone. And chick's only like 19, 20 years old, is already missing all her teeth. My primo loves her. He's like, man, she's the best mom. Well, of course. How couldn't she? So anyways, my primo's like, hey, you want to go to these taco trucks? They're bomb. There's a little spot where they have like 3 or 4 taco trucks. I'm like, hell, shit, does a bear shit in the woods and use this fucking chick's mouth as toilet paper? Of course I want to go. So we mob over there. He has a beat up ass cougar, a Mercury cougar. You ever seen one of those? You'll never will again. Them motherfuckers are extinct. Hey, if you can find a cougar right now, post a picture of it on my community shit. That shit, those things are extinct like a motherfucker. And so we're over there, barely no gas. We're riding on fumes, but we make it to the taco truck. Now, there was a new taco truck, which were Usos. Then there was a couple Paisas taco trucks. You know, Paisas doing their thing. So I'm not racist, but when it comes to tacos, burritos, flatas, and anything of a Mexican nature, well, guess who I'm going to go to who cook it? The Mexicans, right? So, of course, I slide over to the Paisas, and my primo goes to the Usos, right? And he's getting in, he has pineapples on his taco and all kinds of crazy shit. And he's fucking up. He's like, man, this is the best tacos. And these big old Usos are in there cooking. There's a chick. The chick was bigger than both the guys, but two big Usos and a big old Uso chick. Que F it, right? And I'm like, what up, Us? What up, Sole? And they're like, oh, what's up, Us? Like, we're bonding, right? And he's like, hey, Us, you want some real tacos? That the Paisa shit, that's garbage. I'm like, nah, this shit is bomb. Fool, the salsa hits different. That, hey, puro Jalisco way, right? This shit is bomb. And the Paisas are shaking their head because they hear him. He's talking loud. The Uso's like sticking his head out his window, like, man, their shit is garbage, bro. Come over here and fuck with a real one. And they have like these tables that are set out there. So I'm like sitting at a table, and I ain't gonna lie, man, I'm rocking with the Paisas to the death of me. I'm like, nah, I'm good, right? My primo was like, bro, you're missing out. Take a bite. Take a bite. I said, nah, you got meth mouth, bro. Plus, your old lady's nah. It's just, look, she already tainted the fucking air around my food. That's why I want her to sit over there, because whatever's coming out of her pores is green, right? And you got meth mouth, and you talk about take a bite. Motherfucker, give me a taco. I'll try a taco. So he tells the Uso, let me get another one, right? So the Uso shoots him one. I'm not gonna lie. Guard! There's a new sheriff in town, right? That taco that Uso made, I don't know what type of meat he put in it. I don't know to what degree of barbacoa he was doing, but that taco hit differently. I'm still striving for that savory taste, right? I've never had it since. Anyways, he comes all the way out. He's like, try that, Us, right? And I'm like, yeah, I'm from the Central Valley, man. I'm not from the Bay, this and that. He's all bayed out, Mac Dre'd out. I remember he was wearing a shirt, you know what I'm saying? It said, Yara Ramin, right? So I was like, Yara taco. So I eat the taco, and it's a spectacular event. It's one of the things I'll remember in my life the most. When I took a bite of that taco, it's like the movie Matrix. I started flashing back to everything that happened up until that point. And I remember fucking shaking in prison, like, man, this shit sucks. Being in the oil, all stuck on the toilet with chorro from the fucking cat food they fed us, and all the hardship I went through. This one taco brought it all out in me, right? I'm not even gonna lie. I pushed that paisa plate to the side, and the paisa's like, ¿Por qué? I was like, ¿Por qué? Basura. The Uso's out there, and he starts arguing with the Mexican dude, the paisa, right? And the paisa is like, you're not gonna be here. You're not gonna be here, right? So I'm like, what's up? He's like, bro, we just moved in a few days ago. He's like, we ain't even got our license. We ain't got nothing. These motherfuckers are reporting us. He's like, I'm about to choke one of these little motherfuckers out. They act stupid, right? So he's talking to me, but loud. Usually, Usos are like quiet, soft-spoken, like all the ones I've been around with. These Bay Area Usos, they hit differently. They are wild. He was like, Yarami! Yarami! Remind me of Jacob Fatu from the WWE. Yarami, the motherfucking tacos, Yarami! I was like, Yara, I understand a little bit. Let me eat another taco, right? So the burritos, man, have you ever had a burrito with pineapple in it? Yeah, you're fucking up. Shit was fire, right? They had this little sauce. So the Paisas are in disregard. I put them on the shelf, and a Paisas are out there cleaning. He's cleaning the front area because like there was tables, and all the tables were shared. So there were like these green tables, and there was 4 taco trucks. The other 2 taco trucks I didn't even fucking examine yet. So I'm on a taco run right now. I don't know what's going on, but the Hawaiians or the Usos got it. Okay, they were Hawaiians, and which are to me Usos, Samoan, Hawaiians, all the fucking same shit to me. They're all from the island, and so these Paisas are out there cleaning the tables. And one of them is crazy. He's a little down-ass Paisa. He tells the Uso, it's your responsibility to clean Caswell. I said, Caswell? His name's your name's Caswell? He said, no, I don't know what the fuck that dude's trying to say. He said, no, he have to clean the tables, Caswell. I said, oh, as well. Damn, you're using big words, eh? Where you from? Zacatecas? And so I tell him, hey, he's saying you have to clean the table. He said, we ain't clean shit, Us. We ain't going to do none of that, right? He's like, these motherfuckers reporting us. These motherfuckers called the food inspectors on us. We ain't been here but 3 days, man. They're trying to fuck off my business. So I tell the Paisa, he said, fuck you. That's the way I decipher it. You know, and the Paisa's like, no, I call the police. You assaulted me. You assaulted me. And he said, I didn't assault you, motherfucker. No, you assaulted. I said, I think he's saying you insulted him. Is that what you're saying? No, I say he assaulted that night choke. I said, okay, well, it's too late. There should be a 24-hour rule. Motherfucker, that was last night. You should have called the cops then if it's that serious. So anyways, my cousin's like, look, man, I fuck with these Usos. And the Paisa's like, no, good foot. It's horse meat, right? And my primo looks at the Uso. The Uso's like, man, fuck you. Man, you stupid Mexican, right? I said, that's blasphemy to me. I was in a conundrum. So now I got love for the raza, 100%. You know, I'm there eating taco. Even though I'm eating Hawaiian tacos, it's still a taco. A taco's a taco to me. And I'm doing it because of the brown blood that's running through my veins, right? The red blood, but brown. You know what I'm saying? And my primo, he's a tweaker, so he don't give a fuck why or how he's eating after the linea he did on the way there while driving, you know? And he's got mush mouth with him. I don't know, right? So his old lady tries to get crazy. She's like, hey, my old man's Mexican, right? And the Uso's like, man, your old man should be a dentist, bitch. Because I'm telling you right now, your shit is toe back. And my primo's like, hey, man, you can't be talking about, I thought we were cool like that. And the Paisa's like, see, and no good. And no good. My tacos are better. Come over here. I give you two for 99 cents. Right? And I'm like, hey, bro, we shouldn't be disrespecting ethnicities and all that, man. Because I could tell you something about a Uso cutting a fart in the cell that'll drive you wow, right? That shit will hit different, right? So anyways, he's laughing. I make him laugh. I try to kill the situation, but I'm still like, damn, man. The Paisa comes over and he's like, no good tacos. I'm telling you, right? Man, my cousin's like, get the fuck out of here. He said, no, fuck you. Man, my cousin blasted that motherfucking. You think Ricky's bad? My cousin Tino is different, right? He blasted that motherfucking Paisa up out his fucking cowboy boots. Boom. And the Uso came up behind the other Paisa. There was another Paisa out there too that came walking like, he was in the taco truck, but he came down the steps to kind of see like what happened, how his father disintegrated when my cousin hit him so hard, right? And man, if that motherfucker Uso didn't snatch him by his throat, Usos, right? Man, it looked like Roman Reigns throwing a one-up. He snatched his shit up and he was fucking him up. And I'm not gonna lie, man, I was stuck because I was like, damn, the Paisas are getting beat up. My primo's beating on. I gotta back my primo up, but I really like him and I'm not active, so we're gonna leave it like that. The Uso doesn't talk bad about the Mexicans, so I feel kind of like I should get off on him, but he's too big. His wife's looking at me like, try it. And then the Paisas are, help me. Right? They're trying to fucking, and I'm just like, you know what? I'm going to do the best thing I could do for the betterment of all people right now. And that's just watch and eat these bomb-ass tacos. Because they're hey, can I get more pineapple and a jalapeno? Right? So we end up leaving. They get in their little arguments, whatever. I guess they do this all the time. Ever since that Uso got, he's only been there 3 days. He didn't chuck the Paisas out four days in a row. Explain that. Right? So we leave, so I tell my primo, that's wild out here. He's like, man, this is the Bay Area, bro. You got to be with the program out here. You know what I'm saying? I know you're non-active and shit, but yada, I mean, I'm like, all right, blood. Calm down. On Pablo. And because my cousin's from the Bay, so it's all types of Bloods and Fam and Rogue and Oos and fucking and Cuddy and whatever, right? And I'm like, all right, Essie. Straight up. So anyways, I'm back with my tío, fucking doing my thing, man. A couple days later, my primo was like, hey, you want to go get some of those tacos? I'm like, yeah, but I want to try that taco truck at the end because they had like a long line. He's like, the Usos full. I'm telling you, ain't no one of those trucks fucking with them. I said, yeah, but let's go try the other one. So we go try the other one. It's cool. Give me a couple of tacos de lengua. They were smacking, but nothing like the Uso, right? So I'm like, man, let's go get a burrito. I just want to get a burrito to take home. I'm gonna get one for my tío, one for me because I lightweight feel bad because I was boning this old lady. Well, I did that night again, but anyways, so a burrito for a little, and the winner is. See, I always stay winning. So I order the burritos, and when I do, the Uso's face is all busted open. And I'm like, damn, Us, what happened? He's like, man, Us, them Paisas rolled up last night. And I noticed the taco truck for the Paisas is closed. Usually it's open all time, booming, right? But it was closed. He's like, man, them Paisas, bro, Us, they came deep, Us. And his old lady she had a fucked up eye. He's like, they fucked us up. Oos, we're thinking about getting the fuck up out of here. I said, you gonna let the Paisas get rid of you guys? He was like, oos, man, I didn't know there was that much Mexicans, right? It's Mexicans. I didn't know there was that many Mexicans around here, man. Hey, what had happened was, I guess so we had left that night. The Uso, so every time the Uso would close up his shit, he'd close late night, a little bit later than the Paisas. The Paisas were getting mad, so they stood up open later, right? So the Usos, they were getting, it was like the Hatfields and McCoys is what was going on. And I guess the Usos said that he was talking shit to the Paisa, like, come out, man, take that fade, get that one-on-one. And of course, he's like 7 Paisas, just him, his arm, right? Man, that Paisa called everybody in Calexico, right? These motherfuckers came deep and La bajad his ass, right? They jumped on all the Usos and everything. Uso called his people. I guess it was a big old thing. And meanwhile, all this shit happens, never no cops involved. Bay Area is different. Motherfuckers just smack you in the middle of the street and be like, yay, yay, his nation. Anyways, that's my story, man. I ended up fucking with the Uso a couple more times. He ended up closing up shop and bouncing it. He didn't stop his taco truck, but he moved because it was just too much shit with the Paisas. But yeah, man, the Usos and the Paisas were getting it right there in the Yay area. And the wind's blowing. I stayed getting it with my Theo's lady until she disrespected me one time. But that's another story for another day. We'll get to that. With that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this one. Like I said, Bumpy Baking Soda Breath next, man. We got some bangers today. The Gun. Bang, bang.